in Bath. It's the latest blow to the fortunes of Bristol Rovers, who have no ground of their own and share Twerton Park with Bath City. Wednesday's local derby between Rovers and Bristol City has been postponed. Our first report tonight is from Twerton Park, where Rovers and Bath City officials say that they're determined to stay.
The two clubs were today sharing more than the Twerton ground. They were sharing shock and dismay. The heart of their tiny stadium blackened and ruined. The fire ripped through one section of the main stand, leaving it dangerous and unusable. Inside the boardroom, the Vice President's lounge, the sponsors' lounge are wrecked. Water from the firemen's hoses also poured down into the administration area. For a club that's been struggling, this was a devastating blow. They now say it could be weeks, if not months, before the facilities can be used again. The blaze in the 60-year-old main stand broke out just before 1 a.m. yesterday. Residents whose homes overlooked the ground saw smoke pouring from the stand. An official from the stadium was first on the scene.
When I arrived up there in the stand itself, by going up through the middle of the stand, there were seats alight, 2 seats alight, and the floor area was alight. Whereupon I took a fire extinguisher with me and I proceeded to tackle the fire. Well, on doing that, I found I put the fire out as I thought, but it had actually gone down through this floor area and it was actually burning between the void of the ceiling.
Today, the loss adjusters were assessing the damage. For the fans, the loss is hard to bear.
It's terrible, isn't it? You know, after what's happened recently to the club, you know, with the fire of Bristol and now this, you know, it's crazy. You know, where do we go from there?
The fans' heroes were today training as normal at a ground in Keynsham. Only their manager knew the full extent of the damage.
And when you've only got one stand and a few hundred seats, which at the moment, although we don't know for sure, but it looks like we won't be able to use that again, you know, it's pretty demoralising, really. Since I've been here, the club gets a lot of knocks and that, and we just had a knock about this stadium, and now we've got this, so it's pretty disappointing, really. And you know, a lot of people have put a lot of work into lots of things since I've been here, and it obviously gets you down a little bit, you know. But we're used to hardships here, we're used to fighting, and we just have to grit our teeth and get on with it.
The men accused of arson appeared in court this morning. The 9 men, all in their 20s, bar one who's 19, stood in and around the dock in the small confines of courtroom number 2. They each in turn acknowledged their names, addresses and dates of birth. The magistrates were to later turn down a request that their addresses should not be published. The clerk to the court then read the charge that the men face, that at Bath and elsewhere they did conspire together to commit an offence, namely damage by fire to a stand at Bath City football ground. The chairman of the bench, Mr. Hugh van der Wolf, remanded the accused on bail to appear again before the magistrates on October the 26th. But he did make conditions for that bail. The men do not attend any Football League match and they do not attempt to approach any witnesses. 2 of them have been named and they live in the Bath area. Mr. van der Wolf said that among the reasons for making the conditions was concern for the men's own safety. The defendants, all from Bristol, left the court by a side door, all with their heads covered. One sped away in a waiting car. The others ran through shoppers into the centre of Bath.
Well, the fire is the latest blow for Rovers, who suffered a major blaze in the stand of their old ground at Eastville in Bristol. And of course, they've just heard that plans for a new stadium have been turned down. But what now then for Bristol Rovers and Bath City, the owners of Twerton Park? Steve Scott reports.
Throughout the 80s, Bristol Rovers faced a series of heartbreaks, but this last week must be the cruelest period in the club's history. First, their ambitious stadium plans were turned down, and now a devastating blaze at their adopted home.
Whatever the circumstances of the fire, the club will survive. We will play our matches this season. I think it's important for all Rovers supporters to remain calm and have faith in the board and the club.
10 years ago, Eastville Stadium in Bristol. A fire destroyed the south stand and with it, administrative offices and the dressing rooms. It knocked the heart out of the club and marked the beginning of the end for Rovers at Eastville. In 1986, unable to pay the rent, the club was forced to move. They went to Twerton Park and Bath City. Moving away from Bristol was a decision many of the Rovers' faithful found hard to accept. But against the odds, Rovers found success on the pitch and boasted a loyal following. But the Taylor report after Hillsborough put yet more pressure on the club. Now in the second division, they needed an all-seater stadium by 1994. For the directors, the new ground was vital. They failed, but even now, in the face of another dramatic setback, have vowed to fight on.
Well, we've always been used to a battle of survival at Bristol Rovers, and this just makes it a bit harder. Yes, it's going to hit us financially, and it's going to cause us all sorts of problems, but we will get our matches played and hopefully try and do well in the second division.